let's look at the daily graphic for this morning. Mismanagement of public funds is key. It's taking center stage here because the daily graphic says the Public Accounts Committee is vowing to value for every cedi because the chairperson is chasing scholarship beneficiaries for refund. So details of that on the front page of the daily graphic. Then the fund that was announced a couple of days ago by the president for the 8 fallen heroes is accruing quite some significant amount of money. The last check by the daily graphic puts it at 2.315 million Ghana cedis. That's how much has been raised so far, or how much has accrued so far to the fund. Winston and I were obviously concerned about the management of the funds and not necessarily how much is coming in. So yeah, that will put our eyes on. There's also the talk about Get Fund earmarking some funds for colleges of education and projects on campus. So these are some of the main stories you'd find on the daily graphic. But yesterday we're talking about this. Lands Commission deploying some effective continuous operating referencing system, all to sanitize the land administration system. So these are some of the stories you'd find when you grab a copy of the daily graphic this morning.
Now, if you go to the news center, Momo Fest returns with electrifying season 2 launch in Bukum. That is the Momo Fest. Now, BOG cracks down on bad loans, restricts dividends, staff bonuses, mandates write-offs, demands defaulter list publications, and stricter insider rules. Ekufuado is warning against one-size-fits-all governance, and a tribunal to hear appeals against the gold board has been inaugurated. It's a 3-member team. And BOG 60 billion Ghana cedi mop up to fight inflation. Inimical, this is the minority speaking on that.
And speaking about the former president Ayensu-Danquah, it appears that that story is also featuring on the front page of Daily Guide this morning. He's in Abuja, of course, speaking on security and sub-regional issues at the National Defense College for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So senior military officials there flanking him, and of course in that picture that you'd find when you take the Daily Guide. But the bigger story is about Galamsey, Winston, because it says Galamsey Task Force arrests 4 soldiers for illegal raids. The president has been raising concerns about people taking advantage of the whole anti-Galamsey operation. Looks like there's a task force that has arrested some 4 soldiers. We'll dig into that shortly. Then the court is stopping Regimanal Grey Estate's takeover. That's also another controversial piece that you might want to read. Details of that, page 6 of the Daily Guide this morning.
The Ghanaian publisher Ekufuado's warning to Africa: strengthen institutions or risk collapse. Upon Nkrumah questions BOG's sterilization policy, the publisher's editor has also lost his father, is on the front page. And minority slams lawless Ridge Hospital intrusion. I don't know if you've been following that story. The story of Ralph St. Williams. We've been told that there's a committee that has been set up to investigate that. But if somebody goes into a health facility, or any facility for that matter, to misbehave, to do something illegal, is it a committee? Arrest the person.
Arrest him and deal with him. It's as simple as that.
Please, the Lord, do.
I mean, if you are okay filming yourself, I mean, you don't need a misbehavior. If you're okay filming yourself, don't film you.
You storm a hospital, injure a nurse, break things, destroy the flow, put other patients in danger, and you form a committee to do what?
No.
Arrest him.
Deal with him.
Test the thing behind bars small. Next time you learn sense.
Personal responsibility should also come in. Sometimes when these things happen, you feel that within a public space, or you as an individual, you don't have the rights to perhaps pursue some legal action. This nurse in particular, I mean, you can take it up, consult the lawyers, and see which avenues are open to you. Because when the conversation comes up, it becomes crowded with partisanship and people's feelings and emotions or whatever. But if you are the receiving end, Winston, I say, take up some legal challenge, and let's test the law. I think
Of course,
that's that's the most effective.
He should have been arrested.
of
He should
proceeding.
be arrested, processed for court,
Yeah.
and that's it.
So if the state is not doing it, just take him on.
Yeah.
Guess what? President Akufo-Addo is speaking on corruption. He says that corruption is destroying Africa. Part of the lecture he, addressed at the National Defense College. Looks like the publisher has been digging into that. And the biggest challenge for our former president is the issue about corruption and how it is destroying Africa. Brings up, of course, questions about his tenure as well and what the performance was on the corruption index. Maybe we'll get the details of that shortly. There's also the point about minority condemning the Ridge Hospital attack that we've been speaking of this morning, and the controversy over unearned titles. Manasseh Azuri has an interesting piece on Grace Ayensu-Danquah.
I was
not sure if I should say Doctor or Professor.
No,
Grace
I was
Ayensu.
telling you the last time that I said it here that you cannot be an adjunct assistant professor in the US and say you are a full professor. It doesn't happen anyway. See, when I made the point and I said that Grace Ayensu-Danquah is not a professor. I don't know why sometimes, and it's a problem I've seen here. Many of us look at things from political lenses. So something that is easy. If you're not a professor, you're not a professor. If you're not a doctor, you're not a doctor. Master, to be a professor is not easy. So, Dr. Grace Ayensu is a medical doctor. She's done her master's in public health. She specialized in surgery. That cannot be taken away from her. The fact that she can actually teach is true. So, that's it. She is Dr. Grace Ayensu-Danquah. She is not, even within American system, if she was a full professor, what you would have seen at the University of Utah is adjunct professor. Mind you, Blessed and Kojo, somebody can be a full professor, go on retirement, and be hired as a part-time teacher at the university. In that case, he's still a professor.
Yeah.
So the adjunct is in an indication that you are a part-timer.
Yeah.
So he can also be, say, adjunct professor. In this case, he's a full professor. But he's just come back.
Yeah.
Just come and do that. In her case, assistant lecturer, that is entry-level USA. It's like Ghana here. Assistant lecturer. That's how you start. Move on. It's done. She's not a professor. Let's not drag this. And I think that the Deputy Minister of Health should stop going round trying to explain this whole professorship thing. Why?
Yeah.
Even in the West, people would prefer to be known as Kojo Akotobo-Ating, Blessed Sogan, Professor of Building Technology, Professor of International Relations, than saying Professor so and so.
Yeah. Anyway, let me give you some more headlines. If you go to the BNFT, Winston, what will it take for cement prices to drop? That's the big question on the front page of the BNFT. There's an excellent article by Kingsley Tanke, and he's breaking down the CD exchange rate and all the various factors that go into the cement pricing, and he believes that the cement prices should drop. But there's some interesting statistics. Cement consumption in Ghana rose from 1.8 million tons in the year 2000 to 3.2 million tons in 2011 to 6 million tons in 2024. That's how much cement we consume. If you compare it to stuff like rice, maize, and soya, maize, our target is about 4 million tons production. Rice, we do about 1.8 or so million tons. So we actually consume more cement than we do rice, maize, and soya. And we have capacity to produce 7.4 million tons of cement. So that's the BNFT. There's also a story on the economy. 9.7 billion Ghana cedi worth of coupons paid on DDEP bonds. Payouts improves investor sentiment in the economy. And the cotton sector is sleeping on a $6 billion potential. That's also a story on the front page of the BNFT. And Kenya's president applauds Zoom Lion. There's also a feature, Tolls Without Traffic, rebooting the road fund with free-flowing e-tolling.
There's this development on Cecilia Benadapa. I don't know if you've seen or heard about it, Winston. The controversy over whether or not there's any evidence against her of being involved in corruption. The OSP is insisting that Cecilia Benadapa has not been cleared because apparently you recall that the OSP carried out some investigations together with the FBI in the US. That report came out, the half-year report, portions indicating that the FBI is pointing that, quote, there was no direct and immediate evidence of corruption. The Office of the Special Prosecutor insists that if you're taking that comment to mean that this former government appointee has not committed any sort of infractions, then you're looking at it narrowly. Because for the OSP, she has not been cleared, and that they believe that a much more broader stroke in terms of investigations and digging into the issues may unravel other issues that may be of interest to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So details of that within the publisher, which is talking about today, that the OSP is insisting that Cecilia Benadapa has not been cleared of corruption charges by the FBI.
I join online. The Ghana cedi is the world's best performing currency. This is President Mahama telling investors in Japan he's in Japan to sell Ghana and attract more investments into the country. And that's one of the things he said. He says he's also courting in Japanese investors, and he's highlighting Ghana as the gateway to Africa's 1.4 billion consumer market. Now, the West only taught us English, nothing more. This is Jacob Zuma urging Africa to rely on its own resources. He spoke at the UPSA. This is the 60th anniversary.
Yes, part of the 60th anniversry lecture. So Jacob Zuma was there. Well, he's not far from wrong.
Yeah. Now,
no, but that's a controversial one, actually. Yeah,
he's not far from wrong.
Let's go on to some other stories. Maybe we can discuss Jacob Zuma and his position. When education really started in Ghana, what were the focus area? Administration, right? Accounting, administration, all these secretarial stuff, right? At what point did we really invest in the practical, technical stuff, and what type of investment have we made so far? It's something we can look at and discuss. Now, the CDS has presented promotions and benefits to families of the helicopter crash victims. There's a photo of the three of the widows who were married to those in the Ghana Armed Forces, and this particular photo, a lot of people on social media are not happy with it. They are saying that we should keep the widows out of the public domain. We shouldn't put our cameras on them. The children, the widows, we should protect them a little bit, and we can reward, honor them, but we shouldn't put their images out too much. I agree with that. Now, Mahama touts CD stability, ratings upgrade, and open door investment reforms in Japan, and is urging Asia to invest in Ghana. Did Mahama fly commercial or private? Flight records reveal the truth behind the Japan trip. You may want to read this, and it's a good analysis of the trip, and basically it establishes that the private jet left Ghana, went to Germany, and the Emirates flights left Ghana, went to Dubai. The president took another flight from Dubai to Japan. So that analysis has been done with some further and better particulars in this particular article. And Akutia by-election, easy to begin printing ballot papers on the 20th of August. That is today, right? And Tamale Central by-election also set for September 30. DDEP, big payday for bondholders as government disburses 9.7 billion Ghana cedis. And Delta United sued for selling windowless window seats. Airlines selling windowless window seats have been sued. And there's this other story of a Finnish politician dying in Parliament. In Helsinki in Parliament. Remember, I don't know whether it was this year or last year, there was one of the bodyguards of one of the president. It was last year, right? Who collapsed in Parliament.
Yes, last this year.
It was this year,
yes,
right?
In January, yeah.
And he had to be taken to the hospital. It's resulted in a lot of conversations. In fact, the proposals that we needed to set up a hospital for Parliament. Finnish politician has died in the Parliament in Helsinki, maybe we need to revisit safety, not just in Parliament, but around our public spaces. If you go to citynewsroom.com, DVLA to introduce new number plates tracking systems on January 1, GRA to launch nationwide tax education campaign for informal sector. And the DVLA boss says that 6,000 excavators have been registered and 3,000 have been seized for non-compliance. And Parliament Sanitation Committee proposes 50 peswa levy to tackle waste crisis. Remember yesterday we talked about the Medina waste issue.
Yeah.
Now there's a proposal that we need to put a levy of 50 peswa to tackle waste crisis.
The president, in appointing MMDC, said one of their key performance indicators would be sanitation.
Yeah.
My brother, we do not need even 5 pesos sanitation levy to deal with the problems we're faced with.
What's happening to the current sanitation levies we are paying?
Well, a very good question.
The ones we've used for fumigation, whatever.
We have not used that properly. Government has collected those funds, and I'm sure we've talked about that here several times here on the Super Morning Show. My point is simply this: we do not need a 10 peso sanitation levy, and so we don't need a 50 pesos.
How about 1 peso?
We don't even need 1 peso. Why can't I, Winston Amwa,
Yes.
in my area, pay for improved sanitation? Why can't I do that?
Yep.
So where I live, where we pay, in the estate where I live, we're supposed to be paying 250 Ghana cedis a month. That's for security, water, and sanitation. The assemblies have zoned areas. Those people that have zoned the areas that they go and collect the monies from, can't the assembly use part of those funds to take care of the main streets? So, for instance, you don't need even YEA signing contracts over sanitation. Well, that's expired now. But we must get serious. Sanitation has become a tool for enriching individuals. We must move beyond that. Anyway,